All right, let's quickly go back to Arise international correspondent Adesua Giwa-Osage, who's been monitoring the post-ceasefire development, which we understand is facing a serious threat in Gaza. We have Adesua Giwa-Osage from Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. What's the situation there in Egypt?
Benga, good morning, Constance. Again, I think third time will be lucky. Even though Benga has already given me a promotion today, I'm not a Rice international correspondent, I'm a Rice correspondent, but thank you very much. Now, let me bring you up to date on what is happening. First of all, Israel has said that Hamas has violated the ceasefire by not returning all the bodies of the dead hostages. However, Hamas has said that it's been difficult to excavate these bodies due to the devastation in Gaza, something that the Red Cross has also said, that it will take time to get the bodies of all the dead hostages back to Israel. They have returned them in batches. The last batch was 4 bodies that were returned overnight. Now, very importantly here, in retaliation, Israel has said that they are reducing the amount of aid going into Gaza. Of course, I'd like to emphasize here that all living hostages have been returned to Israel custody, and quite a few detainees, 1,718 detainees, 250 prisoners were returned to to the Palestine territories there. However, in terms of not receiving the corpses of around 20 dead Israeli hostages, Israel has now decided that the living people in Gaza will have their aid reduced.
Well, what can you tell us about the behind-the-scenes dynamics going on in Egypt right now, especially given the latest development?
Well, a lot of the dynamics have actually moved out of Egypt at this point in time. Now, we did have the peace summit here, and President Donald Trump, obviously, as I've said many a times, was the belle of the ball. And to the extent that we even had the Indonesian president caught on a hot mic asking President Trump about his son, Eric Trump, and wanting to meet him. We also saw President Trump yesterday in posts celebrating his son, Eric's new book and using his platform as a President of America to promote his son's book. We have also seen that a lot of the intricacies of the next stage are being discussed outside and in different areas. Now, phase 2 of the Gaza ceasefire deal, which Trump has said that phase 2 has begun, involves demilitarization of Gaza. It also involves the disarmament of Hamas and the setting up of a caretaker committee, a caretaker force, a stabilizing force rather, of US, Europe, and Arab state troops going to Gaza to try and stabilize the region. Donald Trump says that phase has started. He's also called out Hamas for the lack of release of some of the hostages. However, these things are particularly when you look at the clashes between Hamas and armed clans within Gaza. Now we're going to be asking ourselves that are they actually going to be able to disarm them quite easily? Are they going to be able to demilitarize that zone? Because it's not just Hamas within Gaza that has weapons, but it's also the clans that they are clashing with. We saw what looked like a public execution of 8 people by men in Hamas green bands just over 24 hours ago. And before that, there was a clash between Hamas and armed clans that left 27 people dead.
All right, thank you very much, Adesua Giwa-Osage, Arise correspondent that has been keeping tab on the post-ceasefire deal in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. Thank you very much indeed, and I'm sure we'll come back to you for more updates.